Many things may come to mind when one thinks about soul food. Each person and ethnic group has their own personal opinion of what soul food is and what it does. For Southerners, it is ingrained in their heart and soul and is something that they hold to an extremely high standard. Soul food was, and still is today, ever present in Southern society, family dinner tables, and contemporary Southern restaurants across the South. With its strong Southern origin, soul food has great ties to the South, Southern tradition, and the Southern way of life. Soul food is a part of Southern culture that has been around for hundreds of years. It first appeared in America in the 1400s with the beginning of slave trading. As African slaves were being transported over to America, so were their crops. Tall tales of seeds from watermelons, okra, and sesame being transported in the slaves' ears, hair, and clothing could be true, but the more likely idea would be that the European slave traders, urged by the African slave traders themselves, brought the food over for trade. Whatever the story may be, these indigenous crops of Africa were becoming a vital part of Southern culture very quickly. When slaves began cooking for their white owners, soul food wasn't just being found in the homes of the slaves, but on dinner tables all across the South. This type of food and style of cooking caught fire across the South, and many began to refer to it as good times food, a time when family could get together and share stories and memories of the past. To Southerners, soul food has a very significant and distinct meaning. It isn't necessarily a particular type of food, but more of a comfort food that soothes the soul and brings back warm memories of family dinners. It is family members who put the soul in soul food, passing recipes from one generation to the next, preserving and perpetuating the virtues of simple goodness. When a Southerner thinks of soul food, images such as smothered meats and thick gravies, fried chicken, and pork-enriched vegetables brought forth on huge platters from a steamy, aromatic kitchen certainly come to mind. One may think of little Mama's Kitchen restaurants where portions are served with a generous hand and everyone pulls up a chair to the table. A Southerner may also envision sitting around with friends and family, reminiscing and laughing while enjoying a delicious home-cooked meal. As word of this cooking style spread through the South after slavery, restaurants, primarily in African American neighborhoods, began popping up all over the South. These restaurants provided delicious home-cooked meals with an extremely low cost for such a portion. Soon, restaurants all over the South began appearing that provided the same simple, slow-cooked, flavor-rich foods that the former slaves invented. Today, one of the most famous contemporary soul food restaurants is Sylvia's Restaurant, located in Harlem, New York. Sylvia Woods, founder of Sylvia's Restaurant, quickly became famous throughout America for her delicious Southern recipes and became known as the Queen of Soul Food. Jo Brazel, founder and owner of Mama Jo's Restaurant here in Oxford, Mississippi, was kind enough to tell us about her history with soul food and what exactly it means to her in an interview at her restaurant. Okay, when did you open Mama Jo's Restaurant?
In 1999.
99? Okay. What does the word soul food mean to you?
Culture cooking means to me is pig feet, egg bones, and all that kind of food.
Okay. What are some of your most popular dishes?
Chicken rotel,
That's my favorite.
fried chicken, and turnip grease.
Who taught you how to cook, Mama Jo?
Somewhat my mom, and somewhat just come natural through God.
And that kind of leads to my next question. What inspires you to continue cooking great soul food and come up with your own new recipes?
What inspires me? I don't know, the people, the environment that I'm around.
For the future of soul food, do you believe that it is vital to continue passing your recipes to your children and grandchildren?
I do.
Have any famous people ever come into the restaurant?
Yes, George Zimmerman from the Chaplain Channel.
Did he do an interview here?
He did, and she will be on TV this coming July or August.
Since its origin hundreds of years ago, soul food has grown and transformed into something much larger than a genre of food. Soul food continues to thrive and grow as a Southern symbol, and can now be found all across the nation. It is transformed into an extremely popular style of cooking that is used by many acclaimed chefs.
Hey y'all, I'm Paula Dean. Butter, 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 but tickle butter, butter, and butter.
Hi, we're Pat and Gina Neely, the first family of barbecue. And we got a few great tips for you as it relates to barbecuing and grilling right here in our own backyard. The smoke will penetrate and act as an additional seasoning and flavor for your meat. And as you can see, within seconds, your wood starts to smoke, and it creates that great aroma and that great flavor. And finally, when you're cooking barbecue, cook with care.
It's best to use tongs when flipping your meat because if you use a fork, it pierces it and you risk losing your juices. So remember, tongs are your friend.
You want to resist the temptation of the constant flipping and turning of your meats or your ribs. You want to let them sit on the grill, let them create the juices on the inside, but also create a crust on the outer side. Another great tip to remember when grilling is always purchase meat that has a bone in, whether it's a steak or a pork chop. The great thing about having the bone in is it's going to keep the meat together and hold the juices in there as well. We've enjoyed sharing some tips with you. We're the Neelys. You want to talk barbecue or grilling? Stop by anytime.
To Southerners, soul food isn't just a style of cooking. It is a symbol of our Southern history and way of life. Soul food serves as a great reminder of our difficult pastimes and our growth since then. Soul food also serves as a reason for families to come together and enjoy a delicious meal filled with smiles, laughter, and memories. It is enriched throughout the South in restaurants, dinner tables, family barbecues, and reunions. It reflects the Southern way of life through traditions that have been passed down for generations to come. Soul food continues to thrive and grow in the South today and is ever present in Southern culture and identity.
You know well I'm a chicken fried, a cold beer on a Friday night, a pair of jeans that fit just right, and the radio. Well, I was raised up beneath the shade of a Georgia pine, and that's home, you know, sweet tea, pecan pie, and homemade wine, where the peaches grow. In my house, it's not much to talk about, but it's filled when love is grown in southern ground, and a little bit of chicken fried.